Hey folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. It's a podcast, folks, not live. I've got a few minutes. I'm doing a lot of catch-up today, so I gotta, not the stuff you put on your hamburgers. I got a lot of stuff I'm behind on, so I gotta catch up on it. So anyway, I thought I'd take a few minutes out of here. Just take a little break, a little something, from doing what else I was doing. And I want to give a big shout out to Christopher John Taylor over at HTLA973.com. How you doing? Anyway, lots of stuff going on. First of all, yes, you see the title, Shake, Rattle, and Rot. Let me just put it to you this way. Everything that is going on as far as the militarized police, law enforcement, whatever, was told by your wonderful, fantastic, and I'm being sarcastic, President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama, in 2008. Now, if you don't believe that any of this is going on, if you have no clue whatsoever, I'm giving you the clue now. Okay? You are now fully aware of what's going on. You are fully aware as to how things are. Okay? Because everything that the president has told you is literally coming true in front of your face. I don't have to say anything. Glenn Beck doesn't have to say anything. Alex Jones doesn't have to say anything. Pete Santilli doesn't have to say anything. Your president's saying it for you. And what he doesn't say, what he's not alluding to in some of his speeches, but he's saying certain things and he's talking around certain things. Oh, he nailed it. And you're seeing it. Bottom line is, folks, he's shaking everything up. He's putting you into a position that you do not like, but you're too damn buffaloed by your stupid state-run media that you cannot get your head out of your butt far enough to see what is exactly going on. You cannot open your eyes wide enough to see what is going on. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to open their eyes. So what he's telling you is he's telling you things that you probably don't want to know. He's telling you things that you don't want to hear. He's telling you things that really have made you think. Have made you think that everything's just fine. He's telling you things that you may think everything is just fine. The president has it under control. He's doing everything he can. But let me tell you something. Here's where the shaking is happening. It's happening in his own party. Well, in the party that he ran for president through. The Democratic Party, and now some of the members of the state-run media at MSNBC and CNBC and all of that are beginning to see through the veil of this liar. And they're starting to see the cracks, and they're starting to see everything that's falling apart around him. Even the Democratic Party has looked at him and said, there's something wrong with him. We cannot believe him anymore. And when you have a president you can't believe in, that says that we need a civilian military just as well funded, just as, powerful as the, government military. What does that tell you, folks? What does it tell you that in the last 5 years he's authorized, and I do believe he's authorized, the Department of Homeland Security to buy up 2.5 billion rounds of ammunition and to spend money on getting 1,700 assault rifles, 2,700 armed vehicles, and a whole bunch of other things for the local police in your area. Now, I don't want to hear it anymore. You skeptics out there have your head up your wazoo. Now get it out, take a look at what's out there, and examine it for yourself. You people out there that absolutely look at me and think that I'm wrong have to get your head out of your butt. You see, I know what's going on. You don't. Because you refuse to look at it. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. You're like those three monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Yeah. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just because you close your eyes doesn't mean the bad things are going to go away. Facts are facts, people. GMO in the water, GMO food, you got fluoride in the water, you got all this stuff happening. Chemtrails, you got HARP, it's all out there now. It's all out in it's out there. Because the alternative media, which I have to proudly say after 3 years, I am part of, and we have put it out there. We have shown you what it is. Bigger people in the alternative media have forced the state-run media to report on it. But, as you know, they will put their spin on it. I'm showing you the door that says private. I happen to kick down that door and show you what's behind it. While you're standing outside going, that's against the law. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. That's not courtesy. No, piss off. We cannot stand by and let the criminals in Washington, D.C. shake this system up to the point where we suffer because of them. Excuse me, I got something going on that seems to not want to let me go. Woke up this morning, I was all congested, so there we go. But I'm the one that kicks down the door. I'm the one that gets up in your face. I'm the one that shows you the problems. I'm the one who shows you the mob outside of your door wanting your hide because you say everything is okay. You say that the president is doing just fine. I'm the one pointing out how unsafe you are, and you're sitting there watching your stupid Super Bowl. Let me tell you something, folks. The patriots in this country, and I am proud to say that I am one, because I was born and raised here in the United States of America in Stockton, California, and I can tell you this much. I am more patriotic than some people I know. And if people want to challenge me on that, don't sing it, bring it. Do you want an America do you want a United States where your child, your grandchildren can grow up knowing what freedom and liberty are? Or do you want your children and grandchildren to grow up in a country that is a lot like China and a lot like Russia and a lot like Mexico in their socialist communistic idealisms? Because I'll tell you what, in the last 45 years, and I know this from personal experience from walking the streets of Stockton and talking to a lot of people over my lifetime so far, and I can tell you this from my personal experience. And I'll say this, I can't speak for the rest of the United States, but I've seen the statistics of the unemployment rates, of the trends, of the financials, and all of that. Let me tell you this. Over 60% of the American people right now want free stuff. and they believe they deserve it, and they believe that the government has to give it to them, period. Let me give you another percentage. Over 75% of the American people who are former law enforcement, current law enforcement, former military, returning veterans, or current military have said that if their COs told them, if their commanding officers, including the President of the United States, told them to take the guns away from the American people, those generals, those military people, those law enforcement people have said they are going to defy that order. So you've got two types of situations going on here. You have the vast majority of Americans who are law enforcement and military and patriots like myself and all this. We've got plenty of people to shut down Washington, D.C. Millions and millions and millions of people need to go to Washington, D.C. this May 16th for the American Spring and shut down Washington, D.C. Shut it down. Demand that all of those politicians leave and go back to their private lives. We don't need them. Now, who's going to take over? Well, according to some statistics, there are anywhere between 95 to 110 million people out of work. I'm pretty sure, well, let's just say 200 to 300 of those people can run this country a hell of a lot better than those criminals in Washington, D.C. right now. Somebody's probably going to say, well, you got a lot of stupid people out there, so you're going to have a stupid government. Let me tell you something. You've got people that can come together, look at things, find the best way to approach certain things, and apply the knowledge they have about what's going on around them to make things better, to make things more efficient and more effective. Those are smart people. When you consider the opposite, that those politicians sitting up in Washington, D.C. right now and in your districts are lawyers. They are attorneys. You've got a handful of people that aren't. Doctors, dentists, gynecologists. You got those people up there. You've got regular, everyday people. But the facts of the matter are that most of the 535 congressmen and women are attorneys. Did you know there are more attorneys per capita in Washington, D.C. than probably in major metropolis cities in America? Did you know that? And they are the ones that are determining what laws you are going to follow and what laws they aren't. You get Americans in there. They'll set down the law, and they'll follow it just as much as you should. And as much as they're going to hold you accountable, we ourselves right now today, the 5th of February 2014, need to hold each and every single politician and everybody up there responsible and accountable for what they do. And that includes your city council in your cities. And that includes your county board of supervisors. And that includes your own governor in your state capital. And if you don't have the balls to do that, I don't know what else to say to you. You've got something that you've got something in you that you know is wrong. You know that something in there, something around you is causing you to feel like there's something wrong. And there is. They're taking your rights away. They're taking the rights of your children away. They're taking the rights of your city away. They're taking the rights of your schools. Everybody. They are taking all of your rights away, including the members of your city council and county board of supervisors, by substituting all the ordinances and quote-unquote laws in your city with United Nations Agenda 21 Sustainable Development Policies. If you do not believe that, go look that up. I don't know why you cannot... No, let me just put it plainly. Why don't you want to look at this? I got friends of mine who look at me and say, well, I disagree with you. I respectfully disagree with you, but, and all this. They have every single excuse not to listen. I don't like this guy in the White House either, but that doesn't mean he's not a good guy. Boy, I can say that about George W. Bush and Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford and Richard Nixon, and shall I go down the whole list of presidents in the last 50 years? I don't like his policies, but that doesn't mean he's not a nice guy. Something to that effect. Listen up, my friends. You're wrong. You are absolutely, positively, 100% and utterly wrong. Have you even done your history work on, checked out the history and the research of Stalin and Mao and Mussolini and Lenin and Hitler and Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein? And have you done your research? Have you seen how bad these people were? People liked them. People didn't like their policies, but they probably said the same thing. Well, he's probably a good guy. He's just got bad ideas. I just had a post read to me earlier this morning, and it's about drug addiction, that they don't have a choice. These you're an addict. You're an alcoholic. You'll always be one. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, folks, I'm going to give you a little transparency here in my own life. Over the past 25 years, I've been clean and sober. Never went to rehab, never went to AA, never went to NA, never went to Narcanon, and I did it on my own cold turkey. And let me tell you something, everybody has a choice. And AA and all those people that say, well, once you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic, you're always in recovery, I've heard it all. And I've shoved it back in their face, and they don't like it. Well, you're the exception to the rule because not everybody's like that. I've met more people going off the drugs and alcohol cold turkey than I have anybody who has ever been to NA or AA and who have been sober, whatever, clean for 10, 15, 20 years, and then, they relapsed. The people that did it cold turkey know exactly who they are, what they are, how they feel, and how they did it. And guess what? Not one of them that I have heard of, not one of them has ever relapsed. You got a choice. Either you can shake the system up and make it change, or you are going to be going down that circular drain to your oblivion, and I guarantee you, you will not like it. Cutting through the pablum of propaganda, slicing through the sensationalism of salaciousness and the very fabric of fakeness, Spencer Hughes breaks down the news with views you can use from a personal perspective. The Spencer Hughes Show on Spreaker.com and SpencerHughes.net.
Lock it on to the best station on the net, around the planet on the World Wide Web.
You're listening to the Free America Radio Network.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time, this is The Views Expressed Live.
What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman. Hey folks, welcome back. No, this is not the Views Expressed Live. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. And yes, the title of this episode is Shake, Rattle, and Rot. Now we're going to talk about the rattling part. You want to shake things up, you have to go out and make it happen. Don't look for a leader. Don't wait for somebody to do it before you do it. Go out and do it yourself. But do it peacefully because, bail money it gets expensive. You know what I mean? You got to go rattle their cages. You got to stand there in front of the courthouse. You have to stand there in front of City Hall. You have to stand there in front of the state capitol building with signs stating, you've had enough. Big giant circle with a red line through it saying GMO, no GMO, no NDAA, no nothing. You need to do that. You need to rally the people together and do that. Matter of fact, I hope that millions and millions and millions of people in America that are listening to my voice get to Washington, D.C. May 16th. Or March 16th. I got to go look. Go look this up. American Spring or something like that. American Spring. As a matter of fact, go to two pages that I'm going to give you right now. PatriotsFreedomNetwork.com, PatriotsFreedomNetwork.com, or Guerrilla Media Network. Go check those out. GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com or PatriotsFreedom.com. They have more information about the American Spring in Washington, D.C. Go check it out. There has to be enough people out there to make this significant. You cannot be the lone person out in front of your city hall with a sign. Well, you can be because other people are going to come ask you questions or, security's going to come kick you off. You've got to have the numbers. So go rally the people together and make it happen. Matter of fact, I'll make a little announcement right now. It's going to wait, but I'll make a little announcement. I'm working on something that I hope that people will get involved with. Right here in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. If you want to know what that is, you email me. I've got a couple of email addresses, but for that specific subject, I've got something in the works, but it's going to take people to really make that event significant. So if you want to know what it is, I want you to email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. If you're in the Reno, Sparks, Carson City area, I definitely want you to email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. If you know of anybody, if you're out and about somewhere in the vast landscape of the United States of America and you're listening to this and you know people in the Reno, Sparks, Carson City, Nevada area, you tell them about this. Email me. I have an idea. freeamericaradio@usa.com. It's going to take people to make this event very significant. And it's going to put the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and our freedom right in their face. Now, freeamericaradio@usa.com. We've got to rattle their cages, folks. We got to push them to the limit. We got to make them understand that we, the voters, the born and raised American citizens, are the boss. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's reminiscent of the Bolshevik Revolution back, when Russia was taken over. That was all staged event. Go look it up. That was all staged. That was all, something had to happen, and they, problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialectic. I mean, go look that up. It was all staged. It was all a false flag event to get things to a point to where a bunch of people came in and took over. Now, with the details, I could be wrong, but that overall is what happened. I also want to tell you that when you go and rattle their cages, you have to understand that there's going to be all kinds of crap falling out. When you go and do the research on these politicians and you find who they slept with and this, that, and the other thing and, all that, and don't go all, National Enquirer on them, but, or TMZ, but at least get enough information to show the public, hey, do you know this politician? Do you know who's running for this office? Here, let me show you. And there's ways to do that so that you don't get sued. So think about those ways of doing things as well. Having a First Amendment right doesn't mean that you got to bash and slam and somebody else to the point of them getting tired of it and suing you or arresting you. There's ways to go about this that are very peaceful, that are very effective. And if you do it just right, people are going to know. Shaking the system and rattling it and making it fall apart and putting all the pieces back together in ways that you and I want, which is peace, freedom, and security for this nation, is what we need to do. Now, somebody asked me just recently, do you want the government to collapse? Well, yeah, it has to, because it can't sustain itself under the current economic and political weight that we're carrying as American people. USDebtClock.org shows $17 trillion debt. They're not showing you all of the derivatives that the government thinks we owe them. Go look at Iceland. They signed onto the European Union, and the European Union goes, okay, now you owe us, a couple of $1 billion in derivatives, and Iceland's going, wait a minute, we didn't sign on to this. Iceland and the Icelandic people pushed and pushed and pushed and finally had enough and took matters into their own hands, and the major law enforcement in those areas where those people live went and literally arrested the corrupt politicians and kicked out the bankers and took their country back. Now, a lot of people would say, well, Iceland's a lot smaller than the United States. It was 3% of the British colonists that beat back the British Army to win the victory to call this country the United States of America. So don't tell me it can't be done. We have to look at what's there. We have to rattle every single cage of those politicians. And here's something else. They have a political career that they're very proud of. How would they fare if you told them there's an election coming up? You don't do what we tell you to do, you're not going to be a career politician. How would they feel knowing that their next step in Congress to vote on a bill would probably cost them their political career? That's blackmail. No, it's not. It's aggressive negotiation. The American people have a say, and we will say what we want, when we want, as loud as we want, and our politicians are going to hear every single word of it. And if they do not do what we tell them to do, their political careers are over, because the ballot box really, really has a way of changing things. And you can do it peacefully. A revolution begins within yourself. Because you see these things, what do they call that? A revival. You revitalize yourself with a revival inside, saying, yes, I'm tired of this, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this, and you make yourself do this. You take the steps to change. A revolution starts with that, and you make the changes in this revolution in the ballot box by not voting for either one of the parties, because they're both bought out by the same people. They both have Goldman Sachs money. They both have Soros money. They both have Media Matters money. It's all one and the same, folks. All one in the same. I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm telling you that's who they are. And in the last 6 months to a year, statistics have shown that more Republicans and Democrats are leaving those parties and going libertarian because they see the writing on the wall. Now, how many of those rhinos and those dinos, Democrats in name only and Republicans in name only, are going to be linos, libertarians in name only? Well, that's where you, the American people, need to get out and rattle their cages. You need to put them on notice and say, this is how it's going to be there, Mr. Politician. We are the voters. We are the citizens of the United States of America, and we can vote you in or out of office when we desire and when we think you deserve it. I believe that there should be absolutely positively no corporate money going into any political campaign. I believe that it should be you and I to contribute. I believe all major corporations should be banned, absolutely banned for eternity from contributing to any political party. But, you see, we've gone so far outside of the Constitution prior to 1871 that now the corporations pretty much run the United States. So where's the little, nicks in their armor? They've had over 150 years to really strengthen their resolve. And the more that we shout and yell and scream and all that, the more they just continue to tighten everything up, mainly overregulate us, mainly militarize the law enforcement a lot more, mainly tell the UN, hey, bring in your troops onto American soil, which they have. The natives are getting restless. You and I, we the people, are getting restless. We understand what's going on. We are fully aware and awake of what's happening. And they know it too. And guess what? They're staging and may implement a preemptive strike against people because we are standing up and aware and awake. So I don't know. You can take that any way you want. You can do anything you want. Whatever happens, happens. But you know in your heart that America belongs to the people, not to the corporations or the politicians. You know this. You understand this. But still, you would rather want the UN to come in and to tell you how green your system has to be and all this. And you would rather have Common Core teaching your children and, turning you in, because there's a school in Wisconsin that does that. School in Wisconsin told the students, to snitch on their parents. Schools all over the place are starting to do that. Telling your children, asking questions. Do your parents take drugs? By the way, there was a school that did that was playing a game. Do your parents fight? Do your parents take drugs? Do your parents drink? This kind of thing. That went viral. The news story went viral. On the school's Facebook page, 42,000 people got pissed off. Parents went to the school superintendent. They met with the principal, and now the school that was on a week to honor America. The students wanted to put this together, and the principal said, "No, we may offend non-Americans." 42,000 people said that's bullcrap. Parents went to the superintendent. Most of them met with the principal, and the principal went, "We're going to go ahead with this honoring America thing." Because the parents stood up. Now, if there were enough parents like that standing up against Common Core, we wouldn't have that piece of trash communist core in our schools. You just don't know about it. Let me put it to you this way. I've read about it. I've looked at some of the information, not all of it. And what I saw, I don't like. And I got that feeling, that intuitive feeling, that gut feeling that you all should follow because it's correct 100% of the time. Something in me went, no, this is wrong. And the more information that I found out about it from other people and from people sending me emails about it, let me tell you something. It's a piece of crap. It needs to go away. We need to tear down the education system, rebuild it to do this. Reading, writing, arithmetic, history, sociology, math, everything. You name it, make it basic. And if the here's something else. We need to abolish the National Education Administration. What do you mean? They're there to make sure that things are done. No. No, listen up, jackass. You, the parent, need to go to the school and say, you're not teaching my kid this. You're going to teach them this. Reading, writing, arithmetic, history, sociology, science. That's what you're going to teach them. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me on that. That's okay. I want to hear from you. Here's an email address. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Check out the website. If you want to donate to get Free America Radio to the next level, you can. It's right there. It's okay. Right now, I'm not taking sponsors. But you can donate if you want to get Free America Radio to the next level and help assist with that. You can go to freeamericaradio.us to do all that. You can also listen to the show there as well. You can email me at freeamericaradio at unseen.is. freeamericaradio.unseen at unseen.is.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razorblade Express with Dave the Rave.
What's that moving in the shadows? Claranormal Talk Radio with your host, Steve Hembry, right here on RadioKahuna.com. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on RadioFreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Hey folks, welcome back. Hi. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast, although you see a different title right there. Shake, Rattle, and Rot for the 5th of February 2014. So what's going on? Tell me, what's happening in your area? What is happening in your area? I'd like to know. I mean, I'm curious. Email me. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. You can go to the website, freeamericaradio.us. Shake, rattle, and rot. We can shake them up. We can rattle their cages and get up all in their face and make them do what we want. But guess what? Right now, this moment, this particular day of the 5th of February 2014, this country is rotting from within. Now, a lot of people might say, no, it's not. It's really good, and you're just one of those doomsday sayer people, and you don't know. And go back and watch your stupid football, your dumb reality shows, and watch Barney, that purple dinosaur. I know it goes back a while, but this country is rotting from the inside. This country has a problem, and the problem is, dare I say, people. You see, there are some people that want peace, freedom, and security in this country. There are people that want freedom. And when I say freedom and liberty, I'm talking you leave me alone, I leave you alone. You don't create laws to regulate something that is a God-given right. You do not create laws to suppress somebody's God-given rights. You leave them alone. Now, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't see the logic in that, and will always tell you, well, there's got to be some type of accountability. And yeah, when you vote politicians into office, they will write the laws, make the laws that do not hold them accountable, but will hold you accountable. Well, we have to change that. This country and this system is rotting from the inside, and after a while, the weight of its own corruption is going to cause it to collapse. Then where are you going to be with no laws? Huh? See, anarchy is not a bad thing. And I'm not an anarchist. I don't even claim to be one. But I've seen both sides of anarchy. I've seen anarchists say we need to destroy everything that means anything about a suppressive system. I look at them and call them what they are, a bunch of freaking idiots. I also see the other side of the anarchists that say we don't need a government that is so corrupt that's causing the American people problems. We need a system of government that is not corrupt. That is a true anarchist. Now, I could be wrong on the definitions, but I'm sure that if you go look it up and put two and two together, you'll find out that that's pretty much what it is. I've known people and have heard people, myself personally, say that we need to destroy our state capitals and all that. They want to cause a violent uprising. For those out there that think that, let me tell you this. They have bigger guns. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So think about that. Peaceful protesting and civil disobedience begins with signs. Not really begins, but is an act of telling our leaders we're done with them. We've had enough. American Spring, May 16th. Don't even wait till then. Just go to your state capitals. Go to your city halls. Go to your mayor's office. Just protest in your own town. Don't wait for May 16th, because I've already heard from several people and heard several shows that say they want farmers to herd their cattle into Washington, D.C. They want all this stuff. They want cowboys to ride their horses in there. They want truckers to drive their trucks in there. They want bikers to drive their bikes in there. They did that last year in October. And the state-run media overlooked it, by the way, but it did make a statement. It did make a statement. An open-ended statement, but it did make a statement. And people were fully aware of what was going on. And I got to tell you this. I don't recommend herding cattle down Pennsylvania Avenue, but I do recommend getting your voice heard. And if you're anywhere near Washington, D.C., by the way, that's a city-state. It has nothing to do with the rest of the 50 states. It's a city-state unto itself, like Vatican City in Rome and all of that, and the city of London in England. It's a city-state unto itself. Anybody in the Washington, D.C. area at the sound of my voice, May 16th, you better back up those patriots that are going to be there. It may not be in the millions. It may not be in the hundreds of thousands. Even if there's 10,000 people there, that's good enough. They want more. They would like 30 million people there. They would like to see 60 million people there. But remember, do it peacefully. Even if you're going to go downtown in your own little city and protest, do it peacefully. And by the way, the Supreme Court said that the law enforcement officers do not have any type of semblance of privacy, so we can film them. It has already been said in the Supreme Court. We have a right to film the police. If I'm wrong about that, please send me email at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Many, many years ago, I was never really pushing the issue of freedom and liberty. even though I knew that things were bad. And I knew even back in the 80s and 90s, under Reagan and Clinton, I knew things were just completely out of hand and completely insane at that time. I knew this. I understood this. But I wasn't really active in pushing the issues. I was young and naive and I had no clue. Even though I had been researching this material since the Carter administration and I was in high school, I saw the corruption and I saw the problems and I saw what was happening, but I wasn't actively pushing people to do anything. Again, I was young and naive. I had no clue. I was putting the pieces together. I was putting the puzzle together, finding all the connections and all of this. And I just... The day that I woke up to what was happening in our country and the false flag events that got us into, World War II and Vietnam and 9/11 and all of that, when I woke up, well, it wasn't so much 9/11. When I woke up, I saw certain trends, certain things happening, and I'm saying something's going to break, something's going to happen. Something doesn't feel right. And I remember telling someone something similar to that. Something doesn't feel right. I feel it on the horizon. And it's there. I don't know what it is, but it's there. And I told some people about it, about what I was feeling. And guess what? September 11th, 2001 happened. So all the things up to that point that I became aware and awake about helped me understand that, this isn't over. Something's about ready to blow. Something's about ready to happen. Something significant to get us into another war. Because I've read information along the way which proved to me that the military-industrial complex does nothing without a reason and nothing without a profit. War is a racket, like General Smedley Butler said in congressional hearings. Okay? Now, I do want to caution you on certain things. Like I said, I follow the trends. I see what's happening. I can put two and two together and pretty much be pretty damn accurate as to what's going to happen within a 6-month period to a 1-year period of time. Just watching what's going on around me. Plus, I have some other information that I'd rather not share at the moment. But I will say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but I'll encapsulate it in this way. Prior to or just shortly after the midterm elections, prior to or just shortly after the midterm elections, and again, I could be wrong in this. I could be misinterpreting this, so I just want to let you know I'm being totally honest. I could be misinterpreting some of the things that I'm seeing. Shortly before or shortly after the midterm elections, something is going to happen, significantly happen, prior or shortly after the midterm elections, that's going to cause President Obama to suspend the Constitution and implement martial law. Okay? Now, you have to understand that once that is out there and you people hear that, the big guys in Washington, D.C. and the military-industrial complex is probably going to say, oops, they found out what's going to happen and we better not do anything. And so it may change. I do not know. I could be misinterpreting the information that I've received. But I really don't think so. I could be. I'll leave that open. I could be. I hope I am. But the facts are the facts, and the trends and the things that you see happening and the things that you see opening up in the next week or so, in the next month or so. Yeah, you're going to see some significant changes by the end of the summer. You're going to see this. And as far as I'm concerned, you are the backbone of America. You are the determination of where this country is going. You are the determination of the destination of this country. You, we the people. And it just so happens that this is your country too. But remember this. Let me take you back a little bit briefly before I leave you. Take you back in history a little bit. Eastern Europeans came over here, saw a bunch of Native Americans that were here, or native people who were here. I don't know. They weren't called Americans, but they were native. And what did those Eastern Europeans do? Killed most of them. Over a 10-year period of time or more, there were 1.6 million natives that were killed by Western Europeans because they wanted this country. Because the Eastern Europeans and the people coming over from that area wanted this country. So they just killed to get it. And we have the gall to say this is one nation under God. Did we claim it in God's name? No. We wiped out a whole bunch of people to steal it from the natives that were here. So I don't want to hear that anymore. God has shed his grace on thee. Really? When your Bible, my Bible, tells me that thou shalt not kill, and 1.6 million natives were killed to take the land that we now call America, and you have the gall to say that God is shedding his grace on us? You have the gall, preachers, to stand up in your churches and tell your congregation either you believe that way or they're going to hell. Kind of reminiscent of the Muslim religion, don't you think? If you don't believe our way, we will kill you. Christians, wake your asses up. Kick the government out of your churches. Do not sign the 501c3. Then we don't get to donate. What, are you more concerned about your damn position than you are about the American freedom? Then you might as well just close the doors of your church. By the way, it was in the 20th century that the IRS, after 1913, when it was created by President Woodrow Wilson, the IRS determined that they wanted money from the churches. In a way, couldn't just go right out there and tax them for it. No, could they? No. So they created a 501c3 within their own policies. And guess what? Churches, Christians, Catholics, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, you have been trapped. Shall I say that again? You have been trapped. Now, do what you want to, do what you need to, research as much as you have to, but I guarantee you, they are not going to let you get away with anything. And I want to hear from people who have actually been approached to begin the clergy response teams. Go look that up. Clergy response teams. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Come join me on the Views Expressed live. I've decided today to do the show, so come join me. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right there on freeamericaradio.us.